and welcome to TZED Style. It's our live book club. And we are doing some awesome things in the book club for 2026. Come on in, join us. Oh. Hello, Dee. Hello, Lila. Or Leela, however she does it. And hello to my bookish friends. Yes. Let's get everything ready here. We have lots to go over today. Yes, we do. It is going to be a fun day today. And if you can, send out a reminder to your book club partners. Let them know we are now live. We have some shares today and a new chapter in the story today. It's going to be a fun day. All right, let's move. Our friends are the flowers in the garden of life. How awesome is that? I want to thank you all for coming in to the book club. And it is all about writing our own story and reading Snow Outside, Stories Inside. Hello, Dee. Snow Outside and by TZED and members. All right, who's with us today? We have Dee and TZ. We have a visitor. I think Lila is still here. Lila? And we will write them in as they come in. And as you know, we are writing our own story for 2026. And I am going to start the club off today sharing some journals with you. We have many of you working on your journals. Uh-oh. Hello, Ashley. Welcome. Let me get you in. Let me get you in here. I do want to say one thing, y'all. It's very important now that we are writing the story to be attendance. Try not to miss. No, you didn't miss the book club. It's always in the afternoon on Wednesday. Ashley is present. I got her written in there. So we're going to start today by sharing some of the picture journals. This is Shanika's beautiful cover for her journal. This is the front of her journal. And she shared some pages with us. Check this out. This is the beginning. You have a special place in my heart. And then amen up here, and look, a pocket that looks like a library pocket. I love that. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you for sharing so much. And her next shared page is beautiful. Live your purpose. Fuel your growth. How awesome is her picture journal? It's gorgeous. I just love the flowers, and the mushrooms remind me of the fairy garden. Just gorgeous, Shanika. You have done a great job And here is the last page she shared with us. Just awesome. I love the way she left this open to write on. And she has the writing in the background with the flowers. That is just a beautiful journal page. I'm sorry I haven't been able to do much, but Jim was at the doctor's today. Oh, I'm glad to hear he's doing better. He still has some pain, though. I'm sorry to hear that. Shanika, you did a beautiful job. Now, up next is Grandma Paula K. She is Reborn Expecting. And we don't know. Hello, Valerie. You might have missed it, Valerie, but as we are writing the book, it's very important to make sure you attend the lives. And I will explain more about that in a little bit. Her name is Ashley. Queen Bee is Ashley. Leslie is Gibby Gal 79. Leslie is Gibby Gal 79. So Paula put Baby Love and Baby up here, and she has little awesome Reborn decorations. And I can't wait to see what she is Reborn expecting. What an awesome memory in her journal. And here is one for her American Legion that she belongs to. And happy birthday, Mom, on this. This was for her mom. And her parents she was a military child. And what an awesome memory in her journal book is that. So awesome. And I love how she laid it out. And the last one we have for Grandma Paula is a beautiful hygge. This is for her hygge journal side of it. Winter and the beautiful Christmas, her winter involvement in the American Legion, and a great writing place, and of course the Christmas decorations on the bottom. That is a beautiful hygge picture for her journal. All right, let's write in Valerie. Valerie is here. I have Ashley. I have Dee. All right, now I'm going to show you guys an important paper that you will be getting for writing the book. This is a name, use, permission, and consent form. Please read it and fill it out, and then we don't have minors on the channel, so this is just legality stuff. So you don't have to worry where it says for minors. And then you will fill it out, your YouTube name, and then giving permission, because it's going to be published. So I need your permission, and then you fill this out, sign it, date it, and get it back to me. Now, I do have a digital one that you can, if you have no way to print it, I can send you a digital one, and you can put a X or a picture or whatever it tells you to do in the digital, do it. But if you can just print this, fill it, take a picture of it, send it back to me, I would appreciate it. And make sure the date is correct when you send it back. What do we do? You will fill this out, Dee, and I will, since you missed last week, I will tell you what we're doing as we go. Can I mail it to you? Yes, I can. Go ahead and email me your address again. If you want it mailed to you, send me your address once again so I have an updated address to put with your form, and I will be glad to send it by mail. Yes. because we have time for that. All right, so this is a fun club this year, and we get to write our own story. Snow outside, stories inside. We are the stories inside. If you don't have a printer, I can send you the digital one so that you can sign it and send it back. Yes, we are, Dee. We are writing a story. And last week, if you missed chapter 1, please, please, please go back to the video and watch it so you don't miss out on anything that we are doing. Last week we read chapter 1. This week we are going to do chapter 2, and as you're listening, Dee, you will catch on. And I will make sure you know exactly what's going on, girl. I am going to the library Friday morning, and I will print it and send it the same day. Yes, thank you, Ashley. Thank you. Okay. Chapter 2. Let's get reading because we have lots to do today. Chapter 2. As winter deepened, small changes began to take hold. Almost unnoticed at first, the days no longer felt entirely the same, though nothing obvious had shifted. The man lingered longer at the doorway before stepping outside. The woman paused at the window, watching how the snow fell differently each morning. There was a sense, unspoken but present, that something was waiting. Not in the distance, but close, woven into the ordinary rhythm of their days. The cold still ruled the land, yet beneath it stirred a quiet awareness that even in the most settled silence, change does not announce itself loudly. It arrives softly, like a breath in the frost, asking to be noticed. Wow. Now, like I said, if you missed chapter 1, go back to the video and read chapter 1 so you can catch up. You're not that far behind. If you would like to join the book club this year for 2026, email me and say join club. Make sure I have your address, your name and address, and channel name in that email. You must be 18 years and older. Yes, that is deep. Yes, it's deep. So catch up with chapter 1. All right, y'all, let's move on to our questions. Now, what you're going to do is focus. Now, these are the questions for chapter 2 that I just read you. Do you guys want me to read it again? I can read it again a little faster, or do you have it? Let me know in the chat if you have it. Yes, I got your sentence, honey. You want me to read it? I can read it again real quickly. Listen close, y'all. As winter deepened, small changes began to take hold, almost unnoticed at first. The days no longer felt entirely the same, though nothing obvious had shifted. The man lingered longer at the doorway, before stepping outside. The woman paused at the window, watching how the snow fell differently each morning. There was a sense, unspoken but present, that something was waiting, not in the distance, but close, woven into the ordinary rhythm of their days. The cold still ruled the land, yet beneath it stirred a quiet awareness that even in the most settled silence, change does not announce itself loudly. It arrives softly, like a breath in the frost, asking only to be noticed. Wow. This is an awesome chapter. Now, can you tell me, what is the first sign that quiet is no longer neutral or comforting? In this chapter, what is the first sign that the quiet is no longer neutral or comforting? Anybody care to... Thank you, Ashley. She said beautiful. Yes, I got him, Dee. Thank you. Where in chapter 2 what is the first sign that the quiet is no longer neutral or comforting? And I'll give you guys a few minutes to answer. The distance between the two people. Yes, that's true. And you could put that in the first sentence. But let's read the second sentence. That's a good answer, Ashley. Very good answer. And Valerie said being cold. Okay, that's what she took from it. And that is very good. Both answers are good. But let's take a look at the second sentence. The days no longer felt entirely the same. Though nothing obvious had shifted. So that is the first sign that the quiet is no longer neutral or comforting. Small changes, if you read the first sentence, small changes began to take hold. Almost unnoticed at first. At first. This is your key words. At first. So as it takes you in to the second. And I will explain a little bit why we're doing this. This is going to help you write your sentences, and it will help you be able to help me catalog them to put them in our book so you guys will have an understanding. So this is why the discussion questions are important to help you along in your writing. So when they say almost unnoticed at first, the days no longer felt entirely the same, though nothing obvious had shifted, meaning something that shouts at you. It was the subtle things. And that's where Valerie's cold comes in. Because you can imagine being cold. It's in the dead of winter, and it's a nasty winter, and it's cold. And so small changes began to take hold almost unnoticed. So the answer to number 1 would be the days no longer felt entirely the same. So I will put that on there for us if we ever have to refer back. Now question 2. Yes, you're right, Dee. It can also be a feeling. You can feel when something, have you ever walked in a room and said, something's amiss? I can feel it. I know it. You just know a strong feeling that something is amiss. So that's a good one too, Dee. Question number 2. How do small pauses or repeated actions signal that something is beginning to shift? How do small pauses? Where in the story was there a pause? Can anyone tell me? All the time, yeah. Poor Ashley, she said all the time. Yeah, I've had that happen to me before where I've walked in a room and you're like, something ain't right. Yeah, it's a creepy feeling. So as we read on, the man lingered longer in the doorway before stepping outside. The woman paused at the window, watching how the snow fell differently each morning. There was a sense. Yes, Valerie, ding, 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 ding. Very good, she hit it right. Very good, Valerie. Yes, there was a sense. Yes. That is when the pause happened. Unspoken, but present. There was a sense, unspoken, but present. You see how that small pause, it could be intuition too, yes. A lot of us have good intuition. Yes. Number 3, what details feel more significant in chapter 2 than they did in chapter 1? Mimi, hello. Mimi's in the house. All right, I'll get you written down here, Mimi. Thank you for joining the club. And if you missed last week, I think you were here though, do not forget we are writing a story. And so you're going to have to watch from the beginning. I had talked about the permission slip. If you want it mailed to you, just let me know and I'll mail it to you, or you can have it digitally. If you want to do it digitally and send it right back, you can do that too. So watch from the beginning. What details feel more significant in chapter 2 than they did in chapter 1? What details? And this one seems to have, chapter 2 seems to have a lot of details. Just like here. There was a sense, unspoken but present, that something was waiting, not in the distance, but close, woven in the ordinary rhythm of their days. The cold still ruled the land, yet beneath it stirred a quiet awareness. So how does that detail feel more significant in chapter 2 than they did in chapter 1? Chapter 1 told us of the stillness. Memories grew louder than the wind, of laughter once shared, of a life imagined but never filled. When the cold pressed hardest, They found themselves watching the white fields as if silence itself might answer back. So what details feel more significant in chapter 2 than they did in chapter 1? No, Paula had a meeting at the high school today for the American Legion. So she is going to watch when she gets home and get her homework and everything when she gets home. They don't usually do it on Wednesdays, so she was pretty upset. She does not want to miss the book club. So I excused her for today. Now, if something serious comes up like that you can't help but miss, I will excuse you, but we are writing a book, remember, so we have to be diligent. Okay, what details feel more significant? I already have my answer. Does anyone want to gander a guess at which details in chapter 2 feel more significant than in chapter 1? Does anybody want to try? Anybody? Okay. The details that feel more significant in chapter 2 are: there is a sense of unspoken but present that something, what does something was waiting? Not in the distance, but close. What does that sentence say? Danger, yes. Danger. So it gives us a more significant way that the story is going right there. Unspoken but present. There was something, that something was waiting. Not in the distance, but close. So that something was waiting. Something was waiting. And it tells you, yes, danger. But what also, yes, that's a good answer, Dee. Very good. Next week, my friend is having surgery. I'll be back and forth. Okay, honey. As long as I know. Yes, I love writing too. That's why I do it for a living. I just love to write. So that's where the detail is more significant. And it tells you a greater part, because when you read chapter 1, yes, it's very good. It gives you like a setting. It tells us the setting of the story. And it also gave us a little bit of the danger when it said, when the cold pressed hardest, they found themselves watching the white fields as if the silence itself might answer back, as if something unseen could step forward from the snow. So it gives you a presence of where the story is going and how harsh the winter is. But it also does not, it's more significant in chapter 2 that something was waiting. Something was waiting. Oh, she said, hi, Queen Bee and Valerie. I didn't know that I had my computer on mute. Oh, no. Valerie loves to read. Good. All right, let's move on. Number 4. Does the waiting in this chapter feel hopeful, uneasy, or unresolved? Does the waiting in this chapter, that's chapter 2, does the waiting in this chapter feel hopeful, uneasy, or unresolved? Okay, Mimi. Dee, what are you talking about, honey? You said, what about me? Are in the story, you mean? Because I did write you for your homework, hon. I just didn't get an answer. All right, Dee said uneasy. Yes, uneasy. Good answer. Okay, Valerie said hopeful. Valerie, can you point out where in the story does it make you feel like it's hopeful? Ashley also said uneasy. Yes, I know. I was going to say something, Mimi, but I kind of hesitated. I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but yes, I prayed about that this morning. I sure did. Oh, oh, poor Dee. Feels like a redheaded stepchild. Oh, Mimi forgot to say hi to Dee, and poor Dee is feeling like a redheaded I feel like a redheaded stepchild sometimes. Yes, I do. I don't like being the redheaded stepchild. So yes, it's uneasy. And Valerie, please let us know, because it's important for your writing, where you thought it was hopeful so that I can help you with that. Definitely help you. That's what we're here for, to help you. We know that, Dee. We know that, honey. There she goes. Mimi said hi, Deidre. You can email me too, Valerie, and I'll answer you in an email. If you want to answer that answered by email, I will definitely help you out with that. All right, number 5. Now listen close, y'all. How does the snow change in meaning from a soft presence to something more uncertain? How does the snow change in meaning from soft presence to something more uncertain? So let's look at the chapter and see. Bye, honey. Love you.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Thank you.
I'll see you tonight.
Okay. You know what's in that?
Yes, I do. Thank you. How does the snow change in meaning from a soft presence to something more uncertain? And if you remember, I read it towards the end. She loves all of you too. How sweet. And Ashley said, okay, the cold. You are very close, Ashley. Let's read that sentence. The cold still ruled the land, yet beneath it stirred a quiet awareness that even in the most settled silence, change does not announce itself loudly. Very good, Valerie. Silence. It arrives softly like a breath in the frost, asking only to be noticed. It is in the silence. Very good, Valerie. Awesome. And our last questions, you all did very well. And that tells me that you listen to the chapter. And that is a good thing, because we are writing these chapters, and I have chapter 1 that we did. We are going to do our sentences and go over those in a few minutes, but you guys did phenomenal. One question to go. Here we go. What emotions seem to be forming beneath the surface, even if they are never named? What emotions seem to be forming beneath the surface, even if they are never named? Yes, I do too. So, and D said fear. Very good, D. That's right. Fear is one of them. Yes. Fear. What emotions seem to be forming beneath the surface, but they are not named? There's fear. What comes with fear? If you're afraid of the what? Well, you're close. Curiosity, yeah, that's an emotion, but curiosity is more if you go looking for something. Scared is also a good emotion, yes. But there's one more I'm looking for, y'all. There's fear, and what if you're not sure about something? What if you're unsure? So what word is another word for unsure? Getting hurt, yes, that's a good one. But if you're watching the snow fall differently each and every morning, yes, anxiety, worried, you guys have good answers. But the word I'm looking for, y'all, is uncertainty. She is watching the snow fall differently each morning. And that does bring anxiety. You're right. That's another emotion. But the emotions that this chapter is bringing out is fear, being scared, and uncertainty. Uncertainty. She is not sure. And that's where, yes, worried and anxiety, they do fall into place. But fear is the biggest one, which Valerie said in the beginning. I think it was Valerie, or was it Dee? Deidre. Deidre got that one. Fear is the biggest. The woman paused at the window, watching how the snow fell differently each morning. There was a sense, unspoken but present, that something was waiting. And that's where scared comes into play. Not in the distance, but close, woven in the ordinary rhythm of their days. And that brings us uncertain. She is uncertain what is going to happen. How awesome is that, y'all? You guys did super, super well. All right, let's get in. Your homework, you each had a sentence to write. And I have those right here. And those who were not present, I emailed you. And so let's get to it. See, I did get Mimi in there, Queen Bee. Okay, just making sure. All right, here was your homework assignment. You each had one sentence to write, and the themes were one winter, 6 voices. Setting, silence, memory, hardship, hope, and the snow. So we are going to start with Shanika, and I don't think Shanika made it today. I think she had to work. So I am going to put her a note up here in our book to make sure to email her later. All right. Shanika had setting. Write one sentence that describes the winter landscape. Okay, now Shanika wrote, as the snowflakes gently fell, blanketing the small town in a serene silence. Now, right now, we're going to correct small town because we are on a farm with a couple. So we're going to edit out small town and write farm. In a serene silence, the winter landscape stood as quiet witness to the lives of the couple. Residents will change the couple, who bundled up and went about their daily routines, their footsteps echoing through the frosty air as they navigated the, sidewalks come out, and cozy homes are edited. Okay, let's see. The frosty air as they navigated the winter fields. As they navigated the winter fields. Their faces rosy-cheeked. Well, they aren't smiling because according to chapter 1, there is something coming, something that isn't quite right. So their faces are rosy-cheeked and, what's the word we can use for... We're rosy-cheeked and... anybody help me? What is another name for stone-faced? They were stone-faced. That means they had no emotion, or we could say rosy-cheeked and tired. Tired faces as they sipped. How does that sound, you guys? Their faces rosy-cheeked and tired as they sipped. A cold, that's a good one, cold. So we got tired. And we have cold, and I will present this to Shanika by email so she can put her 2 cents in. Stoic, yes, stoic. Rosy-cheeked and stoic. Thank you, Ashley. As they sipped hot cocoa by the fire. We don't think they're going, maybe they do have hot cocoa, but I really don't think they would be sipping it together just by chapter 1 and chapter 2. If you read chapter 1 and chapter 2, they seem to have had a distance between them. So this we will take out as they sat by the fire. So we will take out sipping hot cocoa and let them sit stoic by the fire. Their spirits warmed by the simple joys, and that is a out. They don't have a community because they're by themselves on the farm. Now, they do have resilience in the face of the season's chill. I love that part. So, both the man and woman had a resilience in the face of the season's chill. How is that, everyone? Does everyone agree? Give me a thumbs up if you do. As the snowflakes gently fell, blanketing the farm in a serene silence, the winter landscape stood as a quiet witness to the lives of the couple who bundled up and went about their daily routines, their footsteps echoing through the frosty air as they navigated the winter fields, their faces rosy-cheeked and stoic as they sat by the fire. Both the man and the woman had a resilience in the face of the season's chill. How awesome. All right, that is part of our chapter. Once we go over these, next week I will have our chapter done and together. And that was Shanika's. All right, next was Paula's. Paula had silence. Write one sentence about something important that is not spoken between the couple. And Paula wrote, the man had chopped the wood and the woman carried it inside and stacked it next to the fireplace. Okay, the man had chopped. We need to put chopped right there. The man had chopped the wood, comma, while, get rid of the word in, while the woman carried it inside and stacked it next to the fireplace. Okay, her sentence is very good, but there's something missing. What is it? Hi, Anna. Hello, Miss Anna's in the house. Let me write you down here, Miss Anna. Hello, hello. The man had chopped the wood while the woman carried it inside and stacked it next to the fireplace. There's something missing. How about the man had chopped the wood while the woman carried it inside? The silence between them was deafening. And we all know what that means, right? All right, let's read hers all together with a little better ending on it. The man had chopped the wood while the woman carried it inside and stacked it next to the fireplace. The silence, then you put a comma, the silence between them was deafening. That means it was larger than life. They weren't talking to each other. If you go back to chapter 1, everything they did was drawing them apart. Everybody give me a thumbs up if you like her sentence. Do we agree? And I will email Paula. Piercing. Yes, I like that. Let's do, okay, that's even better. Let's do piercing. Let's read it out loud. While the woman carried it inside and stacked it next to the fireplace, comma, the silence between them was piercing. That is really good. I like that. Everybody like that? Thumbs up. The man had chopped the wood while the woman carried it inside and stacked it next to the fireplace, comma, the silence between them was piercing. That is a very good use of a word. I love that. Okay, Miss Paula's is done. All right, next was me. I had memory. And I was to write one sentence that captures a memory that grows louder in the quiet of winter. And yes, much better, Ashley. And I went ahead and wrote on mine on here. Memory, TZ. Deep in the winter, the memory of laughter shared echoes loudly like the wind against the snow. Deep in the winter, comma, the memory of laughter shared echoes loudly like the wind against the snow. That is both of them thinking back on the memory before the winter, the laughter shared, and you know how the wind hits the snow. It piles it up, right? The snow is being piled up. So is there any changes? Does anybody want something different? Deep in the winter, comma, the memory of laughter shared echoes loudly, like the wind against the snow. Mimi said thumbs up. Anna said thumbs up. Ashley or Dee, you see anything that might change? Anna said no, it sounds amazing. Thank you, Anna. I'll give them two a chance. I'll circle it, but we'll give them a chance. And Mimi, I didn't get an email from you on your sentence. Yours was hardship. Write one sentence about what the cold takes away or forces to change. So I wrote Mimi's, and I'm going to give Mimi a chance to change it if she wants it. Now, this was Mimi's homework, and I don't think she got my email. After she signed up, I gave her a homework email, and it's understandable if she missed it because we're still new into the story. So here's what I wrote for Mimi. Hardship strips away what is fragile, comma, forcing change that reshapes who we are and how we survive. Hardship strips away what is fragile, comma, forcing change that reshapes who we are and how we survive. Give me a thumbs up if Mimi, do you want to change it, Mimi, or leave it the same? If Mimi wants it a different word, we'll give her a different word. If you like it the way it is, we will leave Mimi's just like it is. Any changes? Hardship strips away what is fragile, comma. And you know, what is the most fragile thing about living on a farm? Anybody answer? What is fragile? The most fragile thing in the whole story. What is the most fragile? Thank you, Ashley. Anybody care to gander? What is the most fragile in this story? No, not fragile, honey, meaning who is fragile? Who is fragile in this story? Let's put it that way. Who is fragile in this story? Hardship strips away what is fragile. Who am I meaning by that? Wouldn't that be the couple? It's talking about hardship without speaking the words. Hardship strips away what is fragile. The couple is the most fragile in this story. Could be loneliness too, yes, but that goes back to the couple. Yes, the couple is the fragile. So loneliness goes back to the couple. Fragile is talking about the couple. So you're putting it in the sentence without saying who. Hardship strips away what is fragile, comma, forcing change that reshapes who we are and how we survive. So that is a thumbs up on that one. Now we had Ashley had hope. She had hope. Write one sentence that hints at hope without naming it directly. So let's look at Ashley's. And Ashley wrote, somewhere beyond the doubt, tomorrow felt possible. How can we lengthen that sentence? I got the email. I have a lot of change and things to be adjusted. Okay, honey, that's fine. I understand. Thank you for letting me know you did get it. Yes, we have to work with change. I know that, honey. That's fine. We got you covered. Maybe this week will be better. You got a whole week to turn it in, you know. You can have time to think about it. All right, let's go back to Ashley's sentence. Somewhere beyond the doubt, tomorrow felt possible. So she's kind of missing whose doubt? Whose doubt? Who are you talking about? So if you look back at all the other sentences, the farm, the man chopping the wood. So Ashley could have written somewhere beyond the woman's doubt. Now, the reason I am putting woman's in there, if you don't agree with me, please let me know. Somewhere beyond the woman's doubt. So now we know she's talking about the woman in the story. Let's go back to chapter 1. Let's go back to chapter 1. The man and woman carefully moved through their days, measuring light, rationing warmth, speaking only when the words were needed. Snow reshaped the land each night, smoothing fences, softening paths, erasing what had been there before. In the stillness, memories grew louder than the wind of laughter once shared, of a life imagined but never filled. When the cold pressed hardest, they found themselves watching the white fields. Only once did they mention the we. Only once. So, going back to chapter 1, somewhere beyond the woman's doubt. So now we know who in the story we're talking about. Then you put the comma, tomorrow may feel possible. May feel, because you got to remember now, they're watching the white fields as if something might step out from it. So there is the fear factor in chapter 1 and also uncertainty. So you want to make it tomorrow may feel possible. We could refer to both of them. Yes, we could. Okay, you want to refer to both. Okay, let's read it that way. Somewhere beyond the doubt. Somewhere beyond the couple's doubt, comma, tomorrow may feel possible. I like it. Everybody else like it? Give me a thumbs up. We are talking about the couple in this sentence. So we want to change it to both. It is both the couple. Somewhere beyond the the couple. Somewhere beyond the couples, that's why it didn't sound right. Somewhere beyond the couple's doubt, comma. Tomorrow may feel possible. And we got the thumbs up. Yes, Valerie, I will send you your homework. Now, number 6 was Deidre and Valerie. Now, I did not get Deidre's email on her sentence. Deidre and Valerie both had the sentence, the snow. Write one sentence imagining what might step towards from the snow symbolically. Now, if there is ever something you don't understand, email me and I will help you. Write one sentence imagining what might step forward from the snow, symbolically or emotionally. All right, now Valerie had turned in, I was walking along and I seen the snow beast. All right, let's go back to the stories. And Dee, if you want to try your sentence right now, you can put it in the chat. Should we give our couple names somewhere in the story? I'm going to write that down. I think, okay, we're still early, but okay, couple names. Okay? Okay. Got you written down there. That's a good idea. Okay, Dee, go ahead. You can write yours in the chat. It's about the snow. Write one sentence imagining what might step forward from the snow, symbolically or emotionally. So let's go back to Valerie's. We know there isn't a snow beast, so we're going to X that out. There is no snow beast. So, what Valerie could have said, walking. Now, this is symbolic. If you don't know what symbolic means, emotionally, we did that earlier. Remember, it was fear, scared, uncertainty. So keep that in mind emotionally. Symbolically, walking through the field. The man looked up, and this is just off the top of my head. The man looked up and saw a twirling white powder of snow. Now, you know how sometimes the wind grabs the snow and you know how it twirls it up and it almost can look like a monster? So that's what Valerie needed to do. Symbolic. So, walking through the field, the man looked up and saw a twirling white powder of snow. So symbolically, it looks like a snow beast without saying it because we need the symbolic. Now I need help to put their emotion in there. Let's take out the symbolic and go to the other side, and you guys help me with the emotions. So, walking through the field, the man saw a white powder of twirling snow. All right, so now what happens? If he was walking through the field and saw a white powder of twirling snow, how would you put the fear in there? as we continue to stare, I knew he was seeing us. Okay, we'll get to yours, Deidre. Thank you. Walking through the field, the man saw a white powder of twirling snow. How would we put an emotion into that sentence? Let's think about it. Okay, he's walking through the field. Walking through the field, the man saw a white powder of twirling snow. Good one. Miss Valerie, do you want to try? Think of your emotion. Okay, let's put ourselves in the field. We're walking in the field. And we see a white powder of twirling snow. And you guys know what a dust devil looks like, a dirt devil. And they also make snow devils because the wind whips up and creates the snow to twirl around. And so he sees a white powder of twirling snow. Yeah, you want to bring out, startled is a good one. Startled, we could put startled. The man stepped back. Because we want to put an action in there because it did startle him. So he stepped back. And that's a good one. We could put that. So walking through the field, the man saw a white powder of twirling snow. Startled, he stepped back. So we would put a comma here after snow, and then startled, he stepped back. Does anybody else want to add? Because we have two sentences now. We have, walking through the field, the man looked up and saw a twirling white powder. Okay, we absolutely have the symbolic. Or we can do emotional. Walking through the field, the man saw a white powder of twirling snow. Startled, he stepped back. So this will be A. And Valerie, Miss Valerie, are you still here? I hope she is. This is her input. Miss Valerie. And B. So the first one is A. And the second one is B, so we're going to have to take a vote. We are either going to put symbolic or emotional. And so far, if I look back, looking back on both the chapters, thinking about it, I don't recall the man with too much emotions, you know? So if you want to leave it with the emotional one, give me a thumbs up. I don't know if Valerie's still in here. Did she leave? I hope not. Oh, she said you can send me my homework. Okay, she had to leave. Oh boy. Okay, let's go on A or B. Let's take a vote for those of you in the house. Go with symbolic or emotional. I like the emotional myself. Okay, we have an emotional from Ashley, emotional from me. I like B too, so B it is. And I feel sad that Valerie did not get to learn from her sentence. And D said emotional. Great. So emotional it is. All right. Next week's. Did I forget to bring my... Yep, I'll have to use this one again. Okay, so let's go. We have setting, silence. Okay, Shanika had setting the last time. So I am going to move Shanika down to snow. Shanika, your homework will be snow, the snow. Okay, Shanika will get the snow. And let's move on from that. I'm going to cross the names off here because I forgot my other paper. And that way I won't mix them up. There we go. Shanika has the snow. Write one sentence imagining what might step forward from the snow, symbolically or emotionally. Now, Shanika, if you want to write both emotional and symbolic, you can. Remember that. Oh, that's right. I got D's. Thank you, D. That's what you got to do sometimes. Okay, Deidre's was also the snow. And this one is Deidre's. As we continued to stare, I knew he was seeing us in a different time of happiness, in what seems now to be a different world. I felt something slip down my cheek. Okay, good sentence, but here's the deal. Who was staring, and why are they staring? What were they staring at? So in the beginning of your sentence, you want to put the what or the who. So you could put the couple stared into the white fields. Or the white field. They only have one field. The couple stared into the white field. The man, remembering the time before the snow. So that takes you back. Number one, you now know what they were staring at. The couple stared into the white field. The man, and then you put a comma, the man remembering the time before the snow. So now you're talking about the snow. The snow has been bad. The cold has been bad this year. So now we have an idea who and what, and now you have to put in the something hot slipping. So you could put before the snow. The wet, hot, he felt the wet, I don't like that. Let me erase that. Okay. Before the snow, comma, he felt the hot, wet against his cheek. So we know the who, we know the why. Now let's read that together. And this is taken off of D's sentence. The couple stared into the white field, comma. The man remembering the time before the snow. She's talking about the winter, the snow, everything that's happening. He felt, comma, he felt the hot wet against his cheek. What do you think, Dee? You want to add to it? Yeah, you are explaining a tear without saying it's a tear, though, because your main focus is the snow. So if a reader is reading the story, the reader can figure out from the prior sentences and the couple stared into the white field, the man remembering the time before the snow, comma, the hot wet against his cheek. He felt the hot wet against his cheek. Therefore, you still have the snow is your main subject of your sentence. You're talking about the who, which is a couple. And the fact that he was shedding a tear for the past, for what they're missing. Or it can open the door for many other things where you could take your story. He felt the hot wet against his cheek. We as readers can assume it's a tear. We could think it's a tear, but we're not sure. So it adds a sort of mystery. If you like the sentence, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, and we will leave D's like this. If you want to change it, D, let me know. Deidre said, awesome. Okay, awesome, perfect, okay. Queen Bee likes it? All right, we did a good job. Now, I knew that today would be more helpful for your sentences than ever because now you have a bigger knowledge on how to write your sentences or where to take them from. So read chapter 1 and chapter 2 every time you need to go back and write your sentence. It's going to be very helpful for our story. And I will, if you need me to mail you